Good afternoon. I am doing Activity 1, Unpacking a Standard. So the standard I've chosen is 3.0a.1. It's interpreting products of whole numbers. An example, interpret 5 multiplied by 7 as the total number of objects in 5 groups of 7 objects each. So describing a context in which total number of objects can be expressed as 5 multiplied by 7. This is coming from Common Core Mathematics. I'm doing my clinical in Bremerton, which is in Washington State, in Crown Hill. I'm doing it in 3rd grade, so this is all relevant to my 3rd grade math, which I'm pretty excited about starting. So that is the standard. It has a main part of it is the properties of multiplication and division and solving problems with units 2 through 5 and 10. So the overview, this is a module that begins at the beginning of the year by building on students' fluency in addition and subtraction and knowledge of arrays. Initially uses repeated addition to find the total from a number of equal groups, which was the 2nd grade level. As students notice patterns, they go longer addition sentences in favor of more efficient multiplication facts. So the lessons in topic A move students towards understanding familiar repeated addition from grade 2 to the form of array models, which become a cornerstone of the module. So arrays is a big part of this, and understanding and labeling. Students use the language of multiplication as they understand what factors are and differentiate between the size of groups and the number of groups within a given context. In this module, factors 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 10 prove an entry point for them to use. This is going to study the factor links, which extends the study to a division. Students understand division as an unknown factor problem and relate the meaning of unknown factors to either the number of or the size of groups. By the end of the topic, students are aware of fundamental connection between multiplication and division and sets of foundations, which will set them up for the rest of the module. So the foundational standards, so they are required in 2nd grade to determine whether the group of objects, and that's up to number 20, has an odd or even number of members. Pairing objects or counting by twos, writing an equation, expression, or even number as a sum of 2 equal addends. Be able to use addition to find the total number of objects arranged in a rectangle array, up to 5 rows and 5 columns, and write an equation to express this. And they've got to count within 1,000 and skip count 5 tens and 100s. So at the end of the objective, they are looking to understand equal groups as multiplication. They are to relate multiplication to the array model and interpret the meaning of factors, the size of a group, or the number of groups. So how will I keep an eye on this and see if they understand it? So I would be using whiteboards. Just checking I've not missed anything. But yeah, I would be using whiteboards, arrays, skip counting. So whiteboards, so I'm able to check on them as they go, the arrays, an understanding of how the multiplication in rows and columns is set, and then skip counting when they have arrays or to solve how many things are in the array. So at the end of this section, to find out if they've actually comprehended everything and they're ready to move on, exit tickets are a big deal after each part. a very simple question relating back to what I've just done. Pair sharing, having elbow partners, looking at when they're working together, listening to what they're doing to see if they're understanding. It's really good when they're talking together, so I can actually see if they're understanding or just copying. And then thirdly, whiteboards. Having the whole class using whiteboards, so when the question is asked or a problem is given, they can solve it on their whiteboard and then put it up in the air. It's a real quick way for me to see if they actually understood. Maybe I'm not asking the question correctly for them to understand, or it's too complicated, but this is a great way of seeing if they've got their understanding. So that is my breaking down of a standard. It's the very first beginning standard for grade 3 in math. I'm excited to get on to do some teaching of it and being in my clinical. Thank you very much.